What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all taking care of yourself today. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe and like and share and smack that doorbell for me, baby. You heard me? And keep God first, baby, over everything. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm gonna let this video take off. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be certain stuff that they gonna say that I agree with, and certain stuff I'm not gonna agree with. Especially when they talk about the money they got to have the weed and all that in heaven, and women's in heaven and all this and that there, right? That there I don't agree with them with that there. But the rest of the stuff they gonna say, certain things that I agree with. You feel what I'm saying? And I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be Damon Dash and some other guy. They gonna be talking. So on that note, my good people, I'm gonna quit bumping my guns. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna talk at the end. I ain't gonna spit at the end. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And y'all just smash that like button for me, baby. You hear me? So on that note, my good people, let's go.
Because men are not men no more. In my essence, the way I believe, I'm sure a lot of people,
to reality.
we at low level, we at high level. Was enhanced intelligence. It works better if you're already smart, right? Because it's like having the smartest person in the world work for you. But this is a technology, the same way social media, the internet, and all other techs, it usually end up controlling people who don't have control over themselves, right? And so when it comes to like discipline, right, I always tell you, you have to be a disciple of something in order to be disciplined. If I want to be independent, I'm going to study somebody who's independent, become their disciple, and that becomes my discipline. So now I know when I'm veering off to the wrong path or not, because I'm no longer a disciple of their core values and the way they move, right? When it comes to discipline for you, right, how do you stay, it ain't even stay, but just how you cultivate, the integrity of discipline, right? I've seen 99% of people who get a little money, a little fame and success, they lose their integrity, quickness, because men are not men no more. In my essence, the way I believe, I'm sure a lot of people, they with the new masculinity, that's not my bag. You understand me? The way I grew up, a man has
Take
the
the time
ability
out,
to be
smack that
willful.
like button.
Meaning that if it's a thought in your head, you have the ability to bring it into reality. And that's the way you can measure if you're a man or not. So what's your measurement of discipline, integrity, and manhood?
Again,
Take the time out
I
and
visualize
subscribe.
my dream. Once I know my dream, I'm not stopping till
Subscribe
I
and
get
like.
it. And
Take the time out to do that
for
for me. You
me,
heard me?
it's about what makes me happy, not what makes everybody else happy. But, sometimes we're programmed into believing happiness is something that they want us to think is happiness so that we can be controlled, so we can spend a lot of time trying to achieve something that doesn't exist. So it's about really being true to yourself. But at the end of the day, I'm on like a school tour where my fiance wrote a book about dreaming about my son, and we're going into certain marketplaces and teaching these kids how to drink. And, in the process, I'm talking to the high school kids. And honestly, they know they want to go to college because that's what they've been taught, but they don't know why they want to go to college.
Right.
They don't know what life looks like after college. They just know that if they don't go to college, that they're not successful, and that to me is a program. So for me, it's like to understand how to talk to somebody, you got to know exactly what they want, exactly what makes them happy, so that you know what language to speak to them in. But at the end of the day, what's been taken from us is our dreams, is what our perfect visual is that makes us and everyone that we love happy. And, always my ultimate dream is, to have a family and to make sure that my children and the people I love never have to go through the same pain as me. But architecting every single part of your dream is very important. So like the question I've been asking people lately is what does heaven look like when you die?
It's much better.
Not what does it feel like, but like, you know, if time is measured in that vibration, what does it look like when you wake up to when you go to sleep? I'm going to pose that question
Boy.
to you. What does your heaven look
Ah,
like?
y'all. Sleepy too.
This is my heaven.
Gotta have that
To
rest.
be
when
honest,
your
I got
mind
my
and your
pops,
body
I got my
tired, you gotta
brothers
get that
here.
rest, man.
And I'm a person who heavily centered around family.
Wasn't they gonna make
Right,
one,
so
but
for
today's
me,
Sunday,
if
so
my
you know
family
what
is
I'm
healthy,
saying?
everybody doing good, I'm
No,
feeling good.
that's an emotion. When you wake up,
No,
what
but
time do you
listen.
want to wake up in heaven?
I don't want to wake up in heaven.
I'm saying when you get there, not to say we want to get there sooner. But for
I
me,
don't- I
let me
don't-
give you
you
an
know,
example. For me,
so
heaven
we
looks
was
like
talk-
I wake
heaven
up
is-
when I feel like it.
Heaven is like money, good homes, friendship of all walks of life. That's my concept of heaven. So for me, my concept of death is blank.
I wasn't talking about death. I was talking about heaven.
Right.
So let me
Like if
pose.
heaven was a reality, I'll be living it. Like
Well, let me
I
explain
got
it to
money.
you.
Like let me say this.
It ain't no money in heaven.
I gotta
for
have
me.
some money, man.
In heaven.
Yeah, that's how you gonna take
Money
my
is
concept of
man-made.
heaven.
Nothing
We got money.
man-made. Nothing man-made is in heaven.
It's some
It's only
broke people in
God-made.
heaven.
I think money in heaven is love, right? Which is what money in here should be.
Yeah.
So let me explain to you what my heaven looks like. Because if you know, for me, and no disrespect to anybody else, but like if there's no music, if there's no weed, if there's no women,
Oh, we got weed with no money.
what I'm saying is, yeah, it ain't no money.
Yours is real
Money don't
customized,
mean,
that's
you know
all I'm
why?
saying.
You want to know why? Having things means something to me here, but money doesn't mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have so much of it. I don't like to hold it. I like to get it out there and make life.
Yes, sir.
Because life is the currency and love is the currency that I abide
Yes,
by.
sir.
Because that's God-made. Money is man-made. Money is supposed to represent how much gold is someplace, which that's not even existing these days.
Right.
So I don't trust money. Money to me is the devil. I know that it's needed to function, to have a luxury experience, but money without love is hell.
Well, what about weed?
Money without laughter is hell. Money without your family being happy is hell. Money is nothing, but love is everything. And you could create around love because all you need to know how to do is grow and build and be in a nice environment. Like, you know, I like to be hot and be on a beach. If I could build my house and grow my food and I'm with my people that I love, I might not need as much, you know, fundamentally. But all the extras are man-made things that we're distracted by to try to get to, you know, it kind of supposed to validate who we are. All I care about, honestly, is how I'm living, and I got to create my heaven here so I know where I want to go. And if God is architecting heaven for me, then I need to tell him the blueprint of what I want him to create for me when I get there. So it's important to create heaven here so that you have a blueprint of where you want to go and when you want to go, you know.
So, like I said, I just talked about my heaven being real. Then he ended with his heaven on earth, right?
I started there.
See, because, like I said, so for me, heaven is this. Like, being able to do what I want, that's freedom. Like, when you control your mind and your will, that's freedom for me, right? Being able to speak truth.
We got that now.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm living in heaven. Like, I wasn't always living here, though. You feel me? I had to build this up. There was time where I was mentally living in hell, right? So I worked myself to create my heaven, right? So when I can have my fathers and my brothers and my family and friends and peers in Oakland show up in the building and Dame Dash here and we arguing about money in heaven, that's heaven. You know? Like,
and
I could be at a 9 to 5 right now. I'd be in hell.
No, you couldn't, because you
No,
wouldn't let
you're
that
right,
happen.
for sure.
But
Not in
honestly,
heaven.
sometimes you have to experience hell so you can appreciate heaven.
Absolutely.
You have to hit some pain sometimes, so you expect that. So you can appreciate the luxury of not feeling the pain that you were once in.
I agree
You
with
know,
that.
the one thing about having children, especially second generation, is they haven't gone through nothing, and they overreact to nothing.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's like, yo, I don't want you to have to feel this pain to really appreciate your present. So let me go through the rough stuff, and let me just tell you how to appreciate the stuff that I went through so that you don't have to.
Right. Coming on that, adversity builds character. Unfortunately, it's a flip side to that because a lot of people, like you said, without that duality, they don't know how to appreciate existence and the things they have, right? There's the wisdom of learning from somebody else's experiences. So I have an older brother, so I learned a lot from his experiences, right? I've seen all my partners with baby mamas, so right now I don't have a baby mama, right? Because I learned from the wisdom of the trauma that they was going through, right? And shout out to all the baby mothers. I don't mean it like that, but y'all know what I mean.
You got a wife?
I don't mean it like that.
You got a wife?
No, I'm working on it.
You don't want a baby mother, you want a wife.
No, exactly. That's why I ain't got one. But I mean it in the stance that this generation, I think, is, for lack of better words, soft, right? And what I mean by that is the things that were adversity for me that make me who I am, right? I mean, actual real things, like going through cases, going through struggles, really going through darkness. This generation, they deal with cyberbullying, right? And to them, that's their darkness, right? But for me, that could never even bother me, right? Because I built up my ability to go through the darkness. I can handle way more than the average person, which is why I don't mind putting so much on my shoulders. The things that I handle will kill normal men, right? Just the stress or the anxiety of taking that position. So when I talk to everybody about being leaders, I know that being a leader for some people, like just the thought of it, you barely teetering on the balance of good mental health. So just that idea of like, damn, I gotta really lead and do something for the world. Nah, that's already eating you up just thinking about it. So you gotta get to a place of mental heaven before you can do something to help anybody else build out their heaven, right? And it may look selfish, but it's not. I think it was Ayana Vazant. She said it's about being self-full, right? So when you look at it as selfish, you look at it as a negative when you focus on self-development. Right? So I know that even when I left Oakland, I had to go on that journey of self-development, right? And then when I come back, I can come back stronger. I can bring people together, right? Because I'm going to go on that journey of developing myself versus being in front of everybody trying to get validated for the things that I'm doing. Instead, when I showed the world, now there's people that didn't know I was from Oakland. But when they found out, they was proud like I was their cousin, right? Which is good. So now we at this place where we get to really have that ability when it comes to each one teach one. Like if you don't put yourself in position, you can't do nothing for nobody else, right? Like I'm happy that, for me, a lot of the things that I did with other people in collaboration is because me and my brothers weren't ready to work together. So I was like, well, I'm gonna show you what this would look like if we did work together, right? So hopefully now that you see it, now let's build something. Right? And so I know for a fact one of the biggest issues that people have is when it comes to family, right? Everybody struggles with that idea of family supporting their dream or their business or a goal. But I realized like they don't have to until I build a dream that supports my family, right? So when I did that, then the family can work with me and for me, right? So now I don't have to worry about if they support my dream because my dreams support them. So of course they're going to protect it. Of course they're going to support it because now it's reciprocal. Right? And so that little bit of wisdom changed my life because I was no longer worried about that no more. I was free consciously to just go out there and build now. Right? And so for me, that helped me cultivate heaven. Right? I don't pick up things I'm not ready for. Right? I'm not worried. Nobody can call me with an issue and problem to just dump shit on my life. And that ain't got nothing to do with my goals and my values right now. You got to handle that. That ain't for me to pick up. That's for you to handle. Because I'm not trying to be nobody's crutch. So at this point of we talk about heaven, I want to talk about the skill sets of the future. How many people in here own a business? How many people want to, make more income in their business? Right? When I started high-level conversations, I knew that I couldn't do it like any other show on there. Like I don't have a podcast, I got a show. Right? And I said, let me study the way hit shows are made. Let me look at the elements that I would need to program into every conversation in order for it to be a hit, right? And so the intentionality of the way I design things is my genius. A person may look at it as a thought leader, it is, but no, I'm a producer, I'm a director. And so a lot of times when we take on new projects, we don't really take on the hats that's needed in order for them to be successful. right? We don't really study the art and the science of it. And this is why we really lag and we...
Anything that's been presented to me has been presented to me to control me. So my rule of thumb is go against the grain. And to never try to fit in, to do things different. I never want to be like Atmosphere in the video game. I would rather be the player. And I'm always looking for the next thing that no one else has done. Because usually what I'm looking for when it comes to that is independence and freedom and being and doing things that are economically quicker and give me more bang for the buck. So for me, when I did that Breakfast Club thing and I was telling everybody to quit their jobs, what people weren't understanding is I had just quit my job. My job was Rockefeller Records. And the reason why was because it wasn't Damon
Wonder why I
Dash.
keep looking down.
I was helping other people get to their dreams, but I didn't have an asset that I could pass
show
to my
y'all.
children. And I was spending
This
more
what I be doing.
time with people that I
collect
didn't
stuff,
birth
You know what I'm saying?
to make them money so I can make
collect
money off
karma.
them than spending
feel me?
time with my children. So at that point, I quit. And it became, I have to invest in me. And a product that means unapologetically my point of view. Unapologetically the time that I spend for the art of whatever I'm creating. And to be consistent at it for an amount of time to where people will buy it and feel that they're buying a piece of that. And just recently, like as I'm telling everybody, yo, you have to bet it all. I'm betting it all. You Google me right now, it would be like Dame Dash is worth negative $2 million or whatever, all that. Yeah, because every single second for the last 10 years, I've been investing in me, my point of view. Like CEO as a brand, or as a director, or as someone that's really fighting for others that he loves, you know, more than just himself. As I'm telling people what to do, I'm doing it. As I'm saying bet it all, I'm betting it all. I'm betting it all right now. And as I'm asking people to not to complain, because we all know the problems, we've been knowing the problems, they're the same problems. A cycle of problems means somebody's doing a good job in making sure we don't solve them. Because they keep happening. Once you know something, if it happens again, there's an issue with us, not them. So to be able to create my own curriculum, or rather a book that I could go into the school system and actually teach these kids a different way to do things, to be able to sell a sneaker for $250, CEO, have a brand that I could actually now sell without having to leverage someone else's celebrity, to be able to have movies coming out and have shot them independently and distribute them in theaters like they do it, but doing it my way and work with who I want to work with, to be able to present visuals to our culture that aren't us getting abused or us fighting each other, because that's all they show us of. That's been my dream, and that's what I've been fighting for real time. You know, so in this very moment, the inspiration has come from knowing every war that needs to be fought, fighting for the people I love, understanding that I hate business. I hate it. I hate money. But we need to actually have money to live a certain kind of life. But I ain't doing nothing for money. To be able to embrace my creative side and to do it in real time in front of the whole world, and for them to be able to learn from my experience and to know that when you bet it all, it looks good. And that you win if you're persistent about your dream and you can visualize it. And that you could link up with other people from your culture and have people gather and talk and architect the future for themselves, and that you can learn from
All right,
any
y'all.
mistake or
You
any
know-
learning experience that's being made.
That's the end.
It feels good
That's
to
all
be
I got
independent.
for
It's
y'all.
priceless.
But y'all comment.
You know? It
Let
feels
me know
good to help
how
the
y'all
people you
feel
love
about
and not
certain
have to ask.
situation That what he has said.
It feels good to be able to
You
link
know what
up
I'm saying? But that
and be a
heavy
rock
stuff
star
and
without
all
saying
that,
anything that's going to
weed
hurt our
and money,
culture, because I know how to make money off hurting our
know
culture.
what
I've
I'm
done
saying? People be
it.
saying it's
And karmically, it's kicked me in the
stupidest
ass.
thing in the world. You feel what I'm saying? But
You know?
if they to read
To
their
even
good
watch
book,
a 19 Keys,
they
like,
wouldn't
yo,
even say nothing
I've
stupid
been
like
on
that,
stage
you
and
feel
seen
me?
him in the audience.
Anyway,
And now I'm
that's
on
all I
stage
got
with
for
him.
y'all, my good people.
You know, I'm
Y'all
looking
make
for more
sure
partners.
that y'all
I'm not looking
subscribe
for soldiers,
and
I'm looking
like,
for generals.
comment.
And
you
I'm
feel
willing
what
to
I'm
bet it
saying?
all, because that's what I've done, and
Smash
I've
that
done it in
dope
real
bell from the
time.
baby, you
In front of
heard me?
everybody.
And
It's
keep
not
God
embarrassing
first, baby, over
to bet on
everything.
what you love.
On that note, my good people, I'm gone from y'all, baby. I'm gone.